Dumb NBA offseason moves. We see teams do them literally every single year. Trades happen where you say, yep, that GM over there, that one right over there has officially lost their mind. Free agent signings, where we then ask ourselves, I don't know what on earth they see in that player that makes him worth so much. Or maybe it's not even the team or the GM, maybe it's the player. Maybe the player turns down a lot of money or does something else that's pretty stupid during the NBA offseason that we're like, well, yep, that's the dumbest thing I've seen this summer. So in general, just dumb offseason moves happen all the time. Yo, what is up guys? It's me, Lee, and today we are going to be talking about dumb off-season moves, but not just dumb off-season moves, the 6 dumbest off-season moves that were made this summer, or at least according to this article. The things I'm going to be talking about are the things that are going to be listed in this article. I'm going to be seeing what they said were the 6 dumbest off-season moves so far this summer, and then seeing if they were really dumb or not at all. But that's enough talking Lego. Number 6, Atlanta trading for Dwight Howard for minimal return. First off, what I found funny about this was that the writer of this article said that the Hawks could have easily gotten more in return for Dwight Howard than they did. Really? Could they now? Do you think this is back in 2010? I don't know what you think they were about to give for Dwight Howard, but I can tell you this, it wouldn't be much at all. And them trading Dwight Howard for that open bag of corn chips wasn't a bad move at all. I dog on the Atlanta Hawks a lot, and I'm sorry to any Hawks fans that are out there watching this video, because I do dog on your favorite team a lot, because they have been consistently one of the most mediocre teams in the NBA. But now I am actually kind of happy with what the Hawks are doing. They're blowing this roster up. I'd rather be a lottery team than a team that is consistently mediocre. They're always in the playoffs, but that's it. So it's about time that the Atlanta Hawks blew this roster up. And getting rid of Dwight Howard, even if it was for that open bag of saltless, stale corn chips, was a great move. Don't forget, he was making $25 million a year, and when you're a team that's tanking, rebuilding like the Atlanta Hawks are, spending $25 million a year on a player like Dwight Howard is just like burning money. Number 5, Minnesota signing Jamal Crawford. I'm confused. I don't understand this one. Since when is signing a player who is always in contention to win 6th Man of the Year, when heading into the summer, when you can obviously see that one of the biggest weaknesses of the Minnesota Timberwolves is their bench depth? Since when is that a dumb offseason move? In the article, they said it was because he's another ball handler, he's another scorer, and he doesn't help out their defense. Take a look at the Minnesota Timberwolves bench without Jamal Crawford. I don't think they've even re-signed Shabazz Muhammad yet, so he might not return. So off the bench, they either have Taj Gibson or Gorgie Dang, whichever one starts and the other one comes off the bench, Tyus Jones, and then Cole Aldridge. That would have been arguably the worst bench in the entire NBA. But now you add Jamal Crawford and at least you have something coming off the bench. So I don't understand how it was dumb at all. Number 4, Pau Gasols contract. This one's actually really bad. See, the Spurs did technically sign Pau Gasol to a 3-year, $48 million contract this summer, and Pau Gasol is 37 years old. Meaning by the time this contract is up, he will be 40. On a side note though, I guess it is good to mention that while it is a $48 million contract, only $38 million of that is guaranteed, since the Spurs can waive Pau Gasol in the last year of his contract, but then they still have to pay him $6 million that year. It's part of the contract, I guess. And the reason this is extra bad is because Pau Gasol is going to be making $16 million this year, the same $16 million he would have made this year had he not opted out of his contract to renegotiate his contract with the San Antonio Spurs, with his thought process being that he would take less money to help the team bring in more players. However, after all the offseason moves were made, they still had some money left over, so they decided just to spend it all on Pau Gasol and gave him that 3-year, $48 million. So instead of saving money, they wound up spending more money on Pau Gasol. So this was a pretty bad move, and I'm guessing it was just a courtesy thing from the San Antonio Spurs, since this will be Pau Gasol's last NBA contract. Number 3, Knicks signing Tim Hardaway Jr. This is a dumb move, but it's dumb not for the reason that it's dumb. It's dumb for a lot of other reasons, and mainly because the Knicks have done some dumb things in the past that are just really dumb. So in a nutshell, they overpaid to sign a player that they already had but traded away for nothing. Let me explain what I just said. A couple of years ago, the New York Knicks traded away Tim Hardaway Jr. for a draft pick that would eventually turn into Jerrion Grant. Jerrion Grant is now on the Chicago Bulls because he was part of the package that the Knicks traded the Bulls for Derrick Rose. Derrick Rose is now on the Cavaliers because Derrick Rose left the Knicks for nothing after they traded Jerrion Grant for him, who they traded Tim Hardaway Jr. for, and now they are re-signing Tim Hardaway Jr. by overpaying him $71 million. They had to overpay him because he was an unrestricted free agent from the Atlanta Hawks. That means the Hawks had an opportunity to match any contract, and it was thought that they would unless the offer he got was just ridiculous, that there was no way they were willing to pay. In come the Knicks with their $41 million offer sheet. The Hawks say you're crazy, the Knicks take him back, and all of this is because the Knicks gave him away for nothing in the first place. So like I said, this is a dumb move, but at the same time, it's also more or less just a string of really dumb events for the New York Knicks, each event being dumber than the last, which ended up being the dumbest of the dumb. Sorry, Knicks fans. Number 2, Clippers losing Chris Paul. This just doesn't... What? This just doesn't make any sense. How is a team losing a player considered to be dumb on their part when they had no control that they lost the player? In my mind, the Clippers took a W here because unlike some other star players that left their teams for nothing this offseason, the Los Angeles Clippers at least got a pretty solid package in return for Chris Paul. They have a pretty solid looking team heading into next year. It all does kind of depend on how good this Milos Teodosic guy is, but still. And it's not like we all didn't know this was going to happen. It was about time the Clippers had some kind of change. What has it been, like 6 or 7 years? And in those 6 or 7 years, they hadn't even made the Western Conference Finals. They were only getting older, only getting more injured. So yeah, it was time for a change. I don't see how them losing Chris Paul and at least getting something from him and not losing it for nothing is considered dumb on their part. They're literally out of their control. Number 1, the Pacers not getting a big enough return on Paul George. I don't know if I would say this is dumb. Actually, no, this was pretty dumb on the Pacers' part. Not dumb because they traded Paul George because they had to do it because he wasn't coming back after the season, but dumb because it's rumored that they got better offers from the Lakers, the Cavaliers, and the Celtics for Paul George. So the Pacers did get some good offers, but then they got greedy and wanted a lot more from those teams. Those teams backed out, and in come the Oklahoma City Thunder, who get Paul George for the low because no one else has an offer on the table for him. So yeah, this was actually really dumb and greedy on the Pacers' part. And now, of course, we know they went after the Los Angeles Lakers because of this, because they were pretty salty that they lost Paul George and feel like it was the Lakers' fault somehow. But yeah, that's the list of the 6 dumbest moves of this NBA offseason according to this article. And I'd say about half of them were actually dumb. The Pacers being greedy, the Spurs signing Pau Gasols to that contract, and the whole Knicks Tim Hardaway Jr. saga. That was all dumb, but the other 3 I wouldn't say were very dumb. Question of the daytime though, what do you guys think is the dumbest move that has happened so far this summer? Let me know down in the comment section below, but now let's take a look at what you guys said in yesterday's video. And yesterday, I asked you guys how good you think Kyrie Irving will be for the Boston Celtics this upcoming season, and here is what you said. If they can make an offense around Kyrie like they did with IT, then he will definitely win MVP. If not, then no doubt next year I can see him averaging like 30 points per game and 10 assists per game. Question of the day. If Kyrie got all those dribble handoffs Isaiah got, and with the motion offense, the Celtics will most definitely put him up in the MVP race with like 30 points per game and about 8 assists per game. I completely agree with just about all of you guys on what you were saying about Kyrie Irving on the Boston Celtics this upcoming season. Look, Isaiah Thomas nearly averaged 30 points per game last year with the Boston Celtics offense. And Isaiah Thomas is a heck of a player, one of the best point guards in the NBA. But when you look at Kyrie Irving, he just has that certain extra it factor to him. I don't really know how to describe it, but Isaiah Thomas is nearly unguardable. He's really hard player to guard, but it is possible to guard him. Kyrie Irving, though, is absolutely unguardable. You cannot guard Kyrie Irving. So I can see him being even better in the Celtics system than Isaiah Thomas was. And if that's the case, then 30-8 is extremely possible. And if that happens and the Celtics do well next year, he will be in the MVP race. But that's about it for today. Hope you guys did enjoy the video. Don't forget to leave a like if you did and subscribe for more daily NBA videos. And until tomorrow, keep getting the Bucks, Team STC, and I'm out of here. Peace!